So we now have our Apache Tomcat running. Let's deploy our Spring Boot Web Services application to this Apache Tomcat and try sending HTTP requests to our web service endpoints. So I'll bring up my terminal window and I'll open a new tab, and I will change directory to my project, and so that I don't have to type it, I will open Spring Tool Suite and go to my project, bring up properties, and copy the path root folder. I'll copy it, go back to my terminal window, and change directory into my project. I'll list files, so I should be able to see pom.xml. And the first thing that I want to do, I want to build my project. So I'll run a maven install command. Now I have the successful build, and I see that Maven has built a web application archive file for me, and it is inside of target folder. I'll copy the path to this target folder and I will open it in the Finder window. And I will choose go to folder and paste it here and click on go. So this is the target folder, and this is the deployable web application archive that Maven has built for us. What I'll do first, I will rename it. I will keep the project name, and this is also the context path of our application, but I'll get rid of the version number like this and hit enter. Now I will use this web application archive file and deploy it to my Apache Tomcat. So I'll go back to the browser window and I will scroll down a little bit. Here it has the section web application archive file to deploy. I'll click on choose file, and this is the web application archive. I will select it and click on deploy button to deploy it. Okay, my application has been deployed and I see it's in the list. I can stop, reload it, or undeploy if needed. But let's try sending HTTP request now to this application. So I'll bring up my Postman, and I have an example of HTTP post request that sends it to a /users with single content type header and body. So this HTTP request will attempt to create a new user. Now we will need to correct this URL a little bit by providing the context path now. So the context path to our application now is mobile-app-ws and then /users. Now if I send this HTTP post request, I should get a message that this user already exists, because in our previous videos we have already created this user. So let's send this request, and we got back a correct response. User already exists. Now this confirms that Apache Tomcat is running, and this confirms that our application is deployed to Apache Tomcat. And if I change username, let's say test2@test.com, so that's a new username, and we should get a new record created. So let me send this request, and I get a new record created. To make sure that Apache Tomcat is running and we are sending this request to the correct Apache Tomcat version, let me bring up my terminal window and I will stop Apache Tomcat just to have a peace of mind that I'm sending a request to the correct server. So I will stop this version. Now it's shut down, and I'll go back to my Postman and I will repeat this request one more time. And now I get a completely different response, which confirms that the Apache Tomcat is no longer running. Okay, so we've learned how to start up our very own standalone Tomcat, how to create a deployable web application, and then how to deploy that web application to our very own Tomcat. And now we know at least 3 ways on how to run our web services application. One way is to use Maven. Another way is to build with Maven but run as a Java application using Java jar. And another way of packaging our application into a deployable web application archive and then deploy that web application archive into a standalone Tomcat running on our local or even on a remote server.